My name is Sophie, and I'm 29 years old. It was supposed to be the happiest day of my pregnancy. A baby shower at my house. 60 guests, my friends, my family, my husband's family. Pink and white decorations everywhere. A table full of gifts. A cake shaped like a baby carriage. I was 7 months pregnant with my first child. Glowing, people said. Radiant. I didn't feel radiant. I felt like I was performing. Because my mother-in-law, Patricia, was there. And when Patricia was there, I was never really myself. I was the version of myself she approved of. The quiet daughter-in-law who smiled and nodded and never, ever disagreed. The shower started at 2 p.m. By 2:30, I'd already heard Patricia criticize my choice of nursery colors. Cream is so impractical with a baby. Suggest I was gaining too much weight. You'll want to lose that after the birth, dear. And tell 3 different people that she'd be staying with us for at least 6 weeks after the baby arrived. 6 weeks. I hadn't agreed to 6 weeks. My husband Michael hadn't asked me about 6 weeks. Patricia had simply announced it, and everyone had nodded like it was already decided. I smiled, said nothing, wrote a mental note in the diary I'd been keeping for 5 years. The diary. I'd started it 3 months into my marriage, after the first major holiday with Patricia, after she'd rearranged my kitchen cabinets while I was at work because they weren't organized efficiently. After Michael had told me I was overreacting when I got upset. The diary was my safe space, my place to say all the things I couldn't say out loud. Patricia criticized my cooking again today, told Michael I should use her recipe instead. He agreed with her in front of me. Patricia let herself into our house while we were both at work, said she was dropping off groceries. She'd thrown away my spices and replaced them with hers. Michael's birthday. He invited his mother to our dinner plans without asking me. When I said I'd hoped it would be just us, he said I was being selfish. 5 years of entries. 5 years of small violations and larger betrayals. 5 years of choosing peace over my own voice. I kept the diary in my closet, in a showbox under my winter sweaters. Hidden. Private. Mine. At 3 p.m. during the shower, Patricia disappeared. Just need to use the restroom, she said, standing up from her seat. But the downstairs bathroom was empty when I checked later. Patricia had gone upstairs, to the 2nd floor, where the bedrooms were. She came back down at 3:15, and something about her face had changed. There was a tightness around her mouth, a gleam in her eyes that made my stomach drop. But the shower continued. Games were played. Gifts were opened. I smiled for photos. At 4 p.m., after the cake had been cut and people were mingling with coffee, Patricia stood up and clinked her glass with a spoon. The room went quiet. I'd like to say a few words, she announced. My mother looked at me from across the room, eyebrows raised. This wasn't part of the plan. Sophie, Patricia said, smiling at me, you're about to become a mother, and I wanted to share some wisdom with you about motherhood, about family, about what really matters. I smiled weakly. Here it comes, I thought. Another lecture about Patricia's superior parenting skills. But then I realized, Patricia continued, that before I give advice, we should all be honest with each other. Don't you think? Something in her tone made my skin prickle. Honesty is so important in families, she went on. And I found something upstairs today that I think we should all hear. Something Sophie has been keeping from us. My blood turned to ice. She couldn't. She wouldn't. Patricia reached into her purse and pulled out my diary. My private, hidden diary. I was looking for extra towels in the linen closet, she said, her voice dripping with false sweetness. And I found this. A diary. 5 years of Sophie's most private thoughts. Patricia, don't. I started to stand, but my pregnant belly made me slow. Clumsy. Oh, I think everyone should hear this, Patricia said. Especially the parts about me. She opened to a bookmarked page. She'd marked pages. Multiple pages. Let's see, she read out loud. October 12th, Patricia came over again without calling. Criticized how I fold Michael's shirts. Told him I was doing it wrong. He took her side. Again. I'm so tired of being wrong in my own house. 60 people stayed at me. That's private, I said, my voice shaking. Private. Patricia's smile was sharp. Is it private when you write terrible things about your husband's mother? Let's read more. December 3rd. Patricia bought us a Christmas tree without asking. Put it up in our living room while we were at work. When I told Michael I wanted to pick out our own tree, he said I was being ungrateful. I cried in the bathroom for an hour. My mother's face had gone very still. One more, Patricia said, flipping pages. March 8th, Patricia told me I'm not cooking healthy enough meals for Michael. Made a meal plan for me like I'm a child. Michael said I should appreciate her help. I want to scream, but I smile instead. Always smile. Always be the good daughter-in-law even when I feel like I'm disappearing. She closed the diary with a snap. 5 years of this, Patricia said to the room. 5 years of writing hateful things about me while pretending to be grateful for everything I do for this family. And now she's having a baby, and I'm expected to help her. The silence was suffocating. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think. 60 people had just heard my most private thoughts. My pain, my frustration, all of it exposed like a wound. You went through my private things, I whispered. I went through a house where I'll be staying for 6 weeks, Patricia counted. I have a right to know who I'm helping. You don't have a right to my diary. Then you shouldn't write such horrible things about people who love you. That's when my mother stood up. Diane Chen, my mother, who'd been sitting quietly in the corner, watching, listening. She didn't stand dramatically, didn't slam anything down, just rose from her chair with the kind of calm that's more frightening than anger. Sit down, Patricia. 3 words. Quiet. Final. The room went completely silent. Patricia blinked. Excuse me. Sit down. Patricia's mouth opened and closed, but something in my mother's voice made her slowly lower herself back into her chair. My mother walked to the center of the room, looked at the 60 guests. My daughter has been married for 5 years, she said. And for 5 years, I've watched her shrink. I've watched her apologize for things that aren't her fault. I've watched her ask permission to make decisions in her own home. I've watched her smile while she's dying inside. She turned to Patricia. You broke into her bedroom. You went through her personal belongings. You read her private diary and then humiliated her in front of everyone she loves. And you think you're the victim here. I have a right to know. You have a right to nothing, my mother cut her off. You don't have a right to enter her home without permission. You don't have a right to rearrange her kitchen. You don't have a right to criticize how she lives her life. And you certainly don't have a right to read her diary and weaponize her private pain against her. Patricia's face was turning red. I was trying to help. By violating her privacy? By humiliating her at her baby shower? That's help. My mother picked up the diary from where Patricia had set it down, handed it to me gently. Sophie has been writing in this diary because she needed a safe place to process her feelings, my mother said to the room. Because in this family, she's not allowed to have feelings. She's supposed to smile and accept and be grateful even when she's being controlled and diminished. She looked at Michael, who'd been standing frozen by the food table. And you, she said to my son-in-law, you're her husband. You're supposed to protect her, support her, put her first. But every entry in that diary is about you choosing your mother over your wife. Michael's face was pale. I didn't know she felt. Because she couldn't tell you, my mother said, her voice rising for the first time. Because every time she tried, you told her she was overreacting. You told her to be grateful. You told her she was wrong to feel what she was feeling. She turned back to the guests. My daughter is 7 months pregnant. She should be excited about becoming a mother. Instead, she's terrified because she knows that when this baby arrives, she'll have to fight for every single decision. The baby's name, the nursery setup, how she feeds her child, how she raises her child. Nothing will be hers because Patricia will take it all, and Michael will let her. The truth hung in the air, undeniable. My mother looked at me. Sophie, I'm asking you right now in front of everyone, do you want Patricia staying with you for 6 weeks after the baby is born? All eyes turned to me. For 5 years, I'd been silent. For 5 years, I'd smiled and nodded and written my truth in a diary no one was supposed to read. But now everyone had read it. Everyone knew. No, I said quietly. Louder, my mother said gently. No, I said, stronger this time. I don't want you staying with us, Patricia. I don't want you making decisions about my baby. I don't want you in my house every day telling me I'm doing everything wrong. Patricia stood up, shaking. Michael. Mom, Michael started, but his voice was uncertain. Your wife just told you what she needs, my mother said to him. Are you going to listen? Or are you going to choose your mother again? Everyone watched Michael. He looked at Patricia, then at me. He struggled. Mom has always been there for me. I'm your wife, I said, and my voice cracked. I'm carrying your child, and you're still choosing her. The realization seemed to hit him, but he didn't move toward me. That's when I knew. 5 years of diary entries. 5 years of hoping he'd change. 5 years of believing if I was patient enough, understanding enough, quiet enough, things would get better. They wouldn't. I'm going to my parents' house, I said, standing up slowly. When the baby is born, I'll let you know. Sophie, wait. Michael reached for me. Don't, I said, stepping back. Don't touch me. Don't tell me I'm overreacting. Don't tell me your mother was just trying to help. She violated my privacy. She humiliated me, and you're still defending her. I looked at Patricia. You wanted honesty? Here it is. You've made my marriage miserable. You've made me feel small and wrong and inadequate for 5 years. And I'm done. You're not staying with us. You're not making decisions about my baby. You're not coming into my house whenever you want anymore. I picked up my purse, still holding my diary. The shower is over, I said to the room. Thank you all for coming. My mother put her arm around me and walked me to the door. Behind us, chaos erupted. Patricia was crying. Michael was trying to explain. Guests were whispering. But I kept walking. We drove to my parents' house in silence. When we got there, my mother made me tea and sat with me while I cried. I ruined everything, I sobbed. No, she said firmly. You saved yourself. And your baby. Michael might not forgive me. Then he's not the man you thought you married. And you deserve better than that. 3 weeks later, I gave birth to Emma at my parents' house. My mother was in the delivery room. My father cut the umbilical cord. Michael came to the hospital, alone. I'm sorry, he said, holding our daughter for the first time. You were right about everything. I talked to a therapist. I talked to my mom. I set boundaries. What kind of boundaries? She's not allowed at our house without calling first. She's not allowed to criticize you. She's not allowed to make decisions about Emma. And if she violates any of those rules, we'll limit contact. And if she does violate them, then I choose you. I should have been choosing you all along. It's been 3 months since the baby shower. 3 months since everything exploded. Michael and I are in couples therapy. It's hard. Some days I'm not sure we'll make it. But he's trying. Really trying. He stood up to Patricia last week when she tried to tell us we were holding Emma wrong. Told her if she couldn't be respectful, she couldn't visit. Patricia cried. Michael stayed firm. It's a start. My mother comes over every Tuesday to help with Emma. She's teaching me that mothers-in-law can support without controlling. That help doesn't have to come with criticism. The diary is in a safe deposit box now. Protected. Private. Mine again. I started a new one. But the entries are different now. Today Michael chose me over Patricia. It felt like breathing after being underwater. Emma smiled at me for the first time today. I didn't ask anyone's permission to feed her or hold her or love her my own way. I'm learning to use my voice. It's scary but necessary. My name is Sophie. I'm 29 years old. And I'm done being silent. Because the truth was in that diary all along. It just took someone violating my privacy for everyone else to finally hear it. Sometimes destruction is necessary for rebuilding. Sometimes the worst thing that happens to you is also the thing that sets you free.